She leaned across the table at the rooftop bar, swirling her cocktail with a little too much drama. "Give me one good reason to stay with you," she said, eyes sparkling under the string lights like this was some playful game. Instead of going back to him, I set my drink down slowly, letting the ice clink against the glass. The city hummed below us, traffic lights blinking in slow motion. I'd booked this place because she once mentioned wanting to watch the sunset from up high. Now the sun was gone, and so was whatever illusion we'd been living under. I looked at her for a long moment, then asked quietly, "Can you give me one reason I should stay with you?" Her smile faltered. She opened her mouth, closed it, then laughed like I told a joke that wasn't funny. I signaled the server, asked for the check. When it came, I calculated my half down to the cent, left cash on the tray, and stood. "Enjoy the view," I said, and walked to the elevator without looking back. 3 days later, the intercom buzzed at 2 a.m. I checked the camera feed. My girlfriend stood in the lobby of my building, mascara streaked, hair damp from the late summer drizzle. She clutched a duffel bag against her chest like a shield. I let her up. When I opened the door, she tried to step straight into my arms, but I stayed in the doorway, arms loose at my sides. She stopped short, confusion flickering across her face. "I messed up," she whispered. "Please just let me in. I have nowhere else tonight." I didn't move. "You can't stay here." She blinked, tears welling again. "You don't mean that." "I do." We had been together 4 years. In the beginning, she told everyone I was her calm after the storm. Her previous boyfriends had been loud, jealous, always picking fights in public. I was the opposite. Steady job as a software engineer, paid bills on time, remembered her mom's birthday, flew across the country when her grandmother passed. I listened when she came home furious about office politics. I planned weekend hikes she claimed to love. But somewhere along the line, steady became dull in her eyes. It started small. She'd scroll through social media and sigh about friends traveling to Bali or Tulum. "Don't you ever want adventure?" she'd ask. I'd remind her we'd just come back from Portugal. She'd shrug. That was nice, but it was so planned. Then came the comments about my routines. My early gym sessions were obsessive. Cooking dinner most nights was too domestic. Saving aggressively for a house down payment was playing it too safe. I noticed the shift most clearly when an old name started surfacing again. Connor. Connor was the ex from her early 20s, the one who took her on spontaneous road trips, threw parties that lasted until dawn, made grand gestures like showing up outside her office with flowers after every argument. He also disappeared for days without explanation, maxed out her credit card once, and ended things abruptly when a music festival tour opportunity came up. For years she called him immature, toxic, a mistake. Then, 6 months ago, she mentioned he'd moved back to the city after years abroad. "He's different now," she said casually while folding laundry. "Started a podcast that's actually doing well. Seems more grounded." I didn't react much. I'd learned that reacting gave the comment oxygen. But the comparisons crept in anyway. Connor had posted a story snowboarding in Colorado. "Living his best life," she commented. Connor's new apartment had a balcony with a view. So inspiring. Connor threw a rooftop party for his birthday. Everyone was there. I kept my responses neutral, but inside I felt the ground shifting. The rail warning came one Thursday evening. We were on the couch watching a documentary when her phone lit up repeatedly. She tilted it away from me, thumbs flying, then set it face down with a quick smile. Just Lauren freaking out about her date. Lauren had moved to Seattle 2 months earlier. I didn't confront her. I just noted it the way you note a crack in a foundation and decide whether it's structural yet. I wanted to believe we could course correct, so I planned a special weekend. Rented a cabin 2 hours north, the kind with a hot tub and no cell service. Told her Friday after work we were leaving. She seemed excited, packed a cute overnight bag, Posted a mirror selfie with the caption, "Surprise getaway." Saturday morning, we woke up to birds and silence. I made coffee on the stove. She stepped outside to get signal and stayed gone 20 minutes. When she came back, her mood had flattened. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just checking in at work." We hiked. We cooked steaks on the grill. We sat in the hot tub under stars. She was affectionate, but distracted. Kept glancing toward the house like she'd left something burning on the stove. Sunday on the drive home, she was quiet. Finally, she said, "That was sweet. Thank you." Then, after a pause, "But sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on more." "More what?" I asked. "I don't know. Energy, spontaneity, something that makes my heart race." I gripped the wheel a little tighter. "We just spent a weekend completely off-grid. That didn't make your heart race." She gave a small laugh. "You know what I mean." I did. Back in the city, I decided to test the water one final time. Made reservations at the new rooftop bar everyone was talking about. The one with the infinity pool and panoramic views. Expensive cocktails, DJ on weekends, the kind of place she used to drag me to early in our relationship before I convinced her quieter spots were better, that I wore the linen shirt she once said made me look European. She wore a backless red dress and spent 10 minutes posing for photos on my balcony. Before we left in the rideshare, she was on her phone constantly. I saw Connor's name flash once before she tilted the screen to the bar. The vibe was electric. Bass thumping, laughter everywhere, city lights glittering below. We found a high table near the edge. She ordered a spicy margarita with the expensive tequila. Drank half in 3 sips. Conversation was surface level. Work stress, a mutual friend's engagement. Then silence fell, heavy and obvious. She broke it. "I need to tell you something," she said, setting her glass down with both hands that I waited. "I've been talking to Connor again." She watched my face. "He reached out a few months ago, apologized for everything, said he's grown up, that he regrets how he treated me." I nodded once. "He wants to try again. Says he never got over me." She took a breath. "I'm confused. You're amazing, reliable, kind, thoughtful. But with him there's this spark, this intensity. I feel alive in a way I haven't in a long time." She leaned forward slightly. "I don't want to hurt you. I care about you so much. But I need to figure this out. So I guess, give me one good reason to choose you instead." The words hung between us like smoke, that I felt something inside me settle. Like sediment finally reaching the bottom of a lake. Clear. Still. I didn't argue. Didn't ask how long this had been going on. Didn't point out the thousands of ways I'd shown up for her while Connor had vanished. I just looked at her and asked, "Can you give me one reason I should stay?" She stared, lips parted, clearly unprepared for the question to bounce back. That I stood, caught the server's eye, asked for the check. When it arrived, I counted out exact cash for my drink and half the appetizer we'd shared. Left it neatly folded under the salt shaker. She watched, incredulous. "You're leaving. You wanted a choice," I said. "You just made it." I walked away. Didn't take the elevator this time. Took the stairs all 12 flights, heart steady, lungs burning in a clean way. The fallout began almost immediately. First came the texts. "Are you serious? You're really gonna walk out and leave me here alone? This is immature." Then anger that I can't believe you'd embarrass me like that. "Everyone saw you leave." Then bargaining. "Come back. We can talk." I didn't mean it like that. I didn't reply. When I got home, I gathered everything of hers that had migrated into my space over 4 years. Dresses in my closet, skincare in my bathroom cabinet, the throw blanket she loved on my couch, the extra charger always tangled in my nightstand drawer. Packed it all into 2 suitcases I'd once bought for our Iceland trip that never happened because she got scared of the cost. Left the suitcases in the hallway outside my door. Took a photo. Sent it with a single message, "Your things are here. Key is inside the smaller one, then I turned off my phone. Next morning I woke to missed calls and a long voicemail from her sister, Chloe, who I'd always gotten along with. Chloe sounded upset. I don't know what happened, but she's devastated. She said you humiliated her in front of everyone and just walked out. Please call her. I texted Chloe a brief summary. She told me she was considering leaving me for her ex and asked me to convince her not to. I chose not to participate. She's free to make her choice. Chloe never responded on social media. The performance began. First post. A mirror selfie in a club bathroom, big smile, caption choosing me tonight. Tagged a venue I knew Connor frequented. Second post. Story of champagne being poured, his hand visible with the skull ring he apparently still wore. Third. A quote graphic. Sometimes you have to let go of the safe bet to win big. Views, likes, heart emojis from mutual friends. I didn't react. Didn't watch the stories directly so my name wouldn't appear. Just lived my life, work, gym, meal prep, calls with my own friends. A week later, a message slid into my DMs from a guy named Ryan, someone I'd met once or twice through Connor's circle years ago. Hey man, not trying to get involved, but thought you should know. She's been staying at Connor's. He's telling everyone she's just keeping his bed warm until the girl he's actually seeing gets back from her study abroad in Barcelona next month. I stared at the words. The symmetry was almost poetic. I thanked Ryan and didn't pass the information along. She'd wanted intensity. She was getting a masterclass. 10 days after the rooftop, my phone rang at midnight. Her name on the screen. I let it go to voicemail. Transcript. I made a mistake. He's not who I thought. Please pick up. I'm outside your building. I just need to talk. I looked at the camera feed. She sat on the lobby bench, head in hands, duffel bag beside her again. I didn't go down. Next morning at 6:45, the pounding started. Not knocking, pounding. I made coffee first, took my time. When I finally opened the door a crack, she looked like she hadn't slept. Hair in a messy knot, yesterday's makeup smudged, wearing an oversized hoodie I didn't recognize. She tried to push past me. I blocked the doorway with my body. Thank God, she rasped. I'm so sorry. Connor, he changed his locks, told me I was delusional if I thought we were serious. I have nowhere else. You can't come in, I said. Tears spilled instantly. Don't do this. I was wrong. You were right about everything. I got caught up in the idea of him, but it was all fake. You're real. You're good. Please just let me shower, sleep, figure things out. I'll do anything. I sipped my coffee. Anything? Yes. Then hear this. There's nothing left to figure out. You told me I didn't make your heart race. You chose the person who did. Now you're living with the consequences. Her face twisted. You're being cold. I'm being clear. I love you, she said desperately. I was confused. The attention went to my head. But I see now, you're the one who actually cared. You saw that 4 years ago, I said, and you still decided it wasn't enough. She reached for my arm. I stepped back. I'm not a consolation prize, I continued. I'm not the guy you crawl back to when the shiny option explodes. You wanted fireworks. You got them. Now you get to clean up the burns alone. Rage flashed across her face. So you're just going to throw 4 years away? I didn't throw them away. You did. The moment you asked me to audition for a role you'd already decided to recast. She stared, chest heaving. Then the guilt trip. My parents are on a cruise. My roommates gave up their leases. I literally have nowhere. That's a problem you created, I said. Not one I'm required to solve. I pulled a 50 from my wallet, held it out. For an Uber to a hotel or a friend who still believes your version of events. She glared at the money, then snatched it. You'll regret this, she hissed. You think you're so above it all, but you're going to end up alone. Maybe, I said, but I'll be alone in a quiet apartment I chose, with peace I earned. I closed the door, locked it, leaned against it for a moment, listening to her muffled sobs. Then the elevator. Silence returned. 6 months later, I was at my usual Saturday morning coffee shop. Laptop open, noise-canceling headphones on, finalizing plans for a solo trip to Japan I'd booked on a whim. Through the window, I saw her walking past on the sidewalk. Hair shorter now, makeup subtle. She carried grocery bags and walked half a step behind a guy in ripped jeans talking loudly on speakerphone. Gesturing wildly, ignoring her completely, she looked up, spotted me. Our eyes met for 3 full seconds. I didn't smile, didn't nod, just held her gaze, then returned to my screen. When I glanced up again, she was gone. I took a sip of my coffee. Black, no sugar, exactly how I liked it, and kept working. Some choices you never have to justify twice.